On a busy street corner in a bustling city on Earth, a small food stall stood out. Not for its size or decoration, but for the man behind it. He was an assassin, or at least that's what his eyes said, sharp, calm, and cold. Yet here he was, selling food instead of taking lives. His name was Cade, known in underground circles as the Silent Fang. Today he wasn't hunting. He was serving his own special recipe, spicy tacos with a secret twist. Cade moved slowly, carefully placing toppings, his movements precise, almost surgical. Passers-by eyed him curiously, unaware of his deadly reputation. Suddenly, another food stall set up just across the street. The vendor was another assassin, Lena, called the Crimson Blade. She balanced a tray of exotic dumplings and had a mischievous smirk playing on her lips, her eyes locked with Cade's, the tension thickening like smoke. "Selling food now," Lena called out, her voice casual but edged with challenge. "Thought you'd be better at selling silence." Cade raised an eyebrow but didn't respond. Lena laughed softly, arranging her dumplings. "Well, I'm here now, and I'm selling the best hot sauce this city's ever tasted." Cade's hand brushed the knife hidden beneath his apron. "This just got interesting," he murmured. Around them, the crowd continued, unaware of the silent war brewing between two of the deadliest assassins, who had now chosen food as their battlefield. The air between Cade and Lena crackled with silent challenge as their food stalls faced each other like opposing armies. Customers shuffled nervously, sensing the unspoken tension, but unsure what might explode first, the spices or the assassins themselves. Cade slowly pulled out a small vial from beneath his stall. "This," he said quietly, "is my secret weapon." Lena's eyes sparkled with amusement. "Oh, planning to poison the competition?" "Not poison," Cade replied, "but a blend of rare peppers from a dead planet, hot enough to send you running, if you're weak." Lena grinned and tossed a bottle of her own sauce onto the counter. "That's cute. Mine's made with fire-infused lava peppers. Guaranteed to make your eyes water and your enemies cry." They circled each other like predators. Then, Cade reached into his pocket and produced a small chili pepper. "Want to taste?" Lena picked one from her tray and bit into it. Her eyes widened, but she quickly masked the burn with a smirk. "Not bad." A moment of silence passed. Then, without warning, a customer nearby sneezed violently, sending a spray of sauce flying onto Cade's face. He wiped it off, eyes narrowing. "Looks like war has begun." Lena laughed. "Welcome to the spice standoff." Behind their cool exteriors, the two assassins knew this was just the beginning. A culinary battle where every drop of sauce could be a weapon, and every bite might decide who survives. Just as Cade and Lena squared off, a third figure appeared from the bustling crowd, a shadowy assassin with an odd, almost cheerful grin. He pushed a rusty cart covered in odd containers, steam rising from a bubbling pot. The sign above read, "The Alchemist's Hot Sauce and Curiosities." "Looks like I'm late to the party," he said, eyes gleaming with mischief. Cade and Lena paused, exchanging wary glances. "Another one?" Lena asked, eyebrow raised. The newcomer chuckled, pulling out a jar glowing faintly, with iridescent colors. "This is no ordinary sauce," he whispered. "It's the rarest hot sauce in the galaxy, guaranteed to change your perspective." Cade narrowed his eyes. "Change how?" The third assassin leaned closer. "Let's just say it's got a few surprises." Suddenly, a faint sizzling sound came from the cart. A strange aroma filled the air, spicy, sweet, and strangely hypnotic. Curious onlookers edged closer, drawn in by the scent. Lena smirked. Well, looks like this just got interesting." Cade cracked a rare smile. "I like weird." The three assassins now stood in an uneasy triangle, each guarding secrets as potent as their sources. And as the crowd buzzed with excitement and suspicion, no one noticed the subtle glint of hidden blades beneath the food carts. Silent reminders that in this culinary game, the stakes were deadly serious. The three assassins eyed each other cautiously, each aware that beneath their culinary rivalry lay centuries of deadly skills. Cade broke the silence, eyebrow arched. "So you're actually going to sell your species' best poisons as novelty hot sauce?" Lena smirked, dipping a finger into her fiery red bottle. "Absolutely. If it doesn't kill, it's not worth selling." The third assassin chuckled, swirling the glowing jar in his hand. "Well, I'm guilty too, but my sauce. It's a bit more unconventional." Cade leaned in, intrigued. "Unconventional how?" With a mischievous grin, the third assassin began his story, a tale filled with bizarre twists, unexpected betrayals, and sauces that did far more than just burn tongues. He spoke of a secret recipe handed down through generations, guarded by shadowy guilds, and of an ingredient so strange it could bend reality, if used right. Lena laughed, shaking her head. "Sounds like you're selling fairy tales. But then again, this whole setup is a little crazy." Cade nodded. "Crazy enough to be true." "So what's the catch?" The third assassin's eyes twinkled. "The catch is, you never know who's tasting your sauce. And sometimes, the sauce tastes back." As laughter mixed with unease, the three assassins knew this meeting was more than just a standoff. It was the start of a story that would twist and turn far beyond anything they'd imagined. Cade, known as the Silent Fang, leaned back as memories flooded in. Years spent perfecting deadly recipes that were as much weapons as they were food. He recalled a time when his mission was clear: eliminate targets silently, swiftly, with no traces left behind. But weapons were predictable, food was not. Cade had discovered that spices, toxins, and flavors could be combined into culinary traps, dishes that killed slowly, painlessly, or caused confusion in enemy ranks. He remembered crafting a chili blend so potent it incapacitated an entire rival gang without a single shot fired. Over time, Cade became infamous not for his kill count, but for the legendary poison taco recipe whispered about in the darkest corners of the underworld. Yet when political tides shifted, and open killing became too risky, Cade adapted, selling his culinary creations publicly, disguised as hot sauces and street food. It was a dangerous game, but one he played with precision and pride. In those quiet moments, beneath the neon glow of city lights, Cade knew his recipes held power beyond death. They were art, tradition, and survival all rolled into one. Lena, the Crimson Blade, smiled as she recalled her past, where danger and delicacy intertwined like a perfectly folded dumpling. Unlike Cade, Lena's approach was elegant and theatrical. She was known not just for her deadly skills, but for turning assassination into an art form. Her weapons were as much about beauty as they were about effectiveness. Poison teas steeped with rare herbs, dumplings hiding silent blades, and sauces that masked lethal toxins beneath layers of flavor. Lena's signature was her exotic dumplings, crafted with precision and passion. Each bite was a gamble, a delicious dance of life and death. She remembered a mission where she infiltrated a noble's banquet disguised as a chef, serving her dumplings to the most dangerous enemies. The look of surprise and confusion as victims realized their fate was something she'd never forget. But as times changed, Lena, too, shifted her path. She opened her own food stall, offering her dumplings as novelties, hiding her deadly secrets beneath smiles and steam. For Lena, cooking was a way to honor her past while embracing a new, unpredictable life. She loved the thrill of knowing that behind every innocent dumpling could lie a story, or a weapon. The third assassin, known only as Alaric, leaned into the flickering streetlight, a sly grin crossing his face as he began his tale. Unlike Cade's precision or Lena's elegance, Alaric's story was, well, much weirder. See where, he wasn't just an assassin. He was a former alchemist, a chef, and an accidental inventor of the galaxy's most unpredictable hot sauces. Once, Alaric had been a royal chef on a distant planet, famous for his bizarre and experimental flavors. But when a secret society discovered his talents, they recruited him for more lethal culinary experiments. Alaric's sauces weren't just spicy, they had strange effects. Some could induce temporary invisibility, others caused uncontrollable laughter, and a few even manipulated emotions. His most infamous creation, the Chaos Pepper Sauce, rumored to make anyone who tasted it forget their mission, or worse, question their loyalties. His life twisted through betrayal, undercover missions, and near-death escapes, all flavored by the sauces he crafted. Now, selling hot sauce on Earth was both a punishment and a cover. A way to hide while perfecting his craft for a greater purpose he wasn't ready to reveal. Cade and Lena listened, eyes wide and skeptical. "This is no ordinary street food," Alaric finished, "and this story, it's just the appetizer." The tension that had simmered between the three assassins suddenly boiled over, literally. Cade flicked a spoonful of his fiery taco salsa toward Lena's dumplings. The spicy splash landed with a sizzle. Lena smirked and retaliated, tossing a dumpling that exploded with a burst of steam, narrowly missing Cade's face. Alaric chuckled and whipped out a jar of his glowing chaos pepper sauce, squirting it onto a nearby tortilla. The air filled with a strange aroma that made the crowd pause, eyes watering and noses twitching. Without warning, the street erupted into chaos. Spices flew like bullets. Hot sauces were lobbed like grenades. Customers ducked for cover as fiery foods created a battleground that was both hilarious and dangerous. One customer slipped on spilled salsa, sliding comically into a vendor's cart. Another tried to catch a flying dumpling, only to be doused in a surprising mix of sweet and spicy sauces. The three assassins moved with surprising agility, dodging, weaving, and using food as weapons in a chaotic ballet. Cade's precise strikes were met by Lena's swift counters, and Alaric's unpredictable explosions of flavor. Laughter and shouts mixed with the sizzling of sauces and the clatter of overturned carts. Amid the madness, the assassins shared brief glances, realizing that this ridiculous food fight was breaking down barriers they hadn't expected. As the dust settled, sticky and spicy, Cade grinned. Well, that was one way to start a truce. Lena wiped sauce from her cheek, smirking back. Agreed. Let's see what happens next. As the last splashes of sauce settled, Alaric wiped his hands and leaned in, eyes gleaming with a secret he'd held close for years. "You want to know why my sauce is different?" he asked, voice low and conspiratorial. Cade and Lena nodded, curiosity piqued. Alaric's smile deepened. "This isn't just hot sauce. It's a key, a weapon disguised as flavor." He pulled out a small, ancient-looking vial, filled with a shimmering liquid. "This," he said, "is the essence of an extinct plant, long believed lost, a species so rare it's practically mythical." The sauce contained a compound that could alter perceptions, unlock hidden abilities, even bend reality for a short time. It was created by a secret guild of assassins centuries ago, Alaric explained. They used it to tip the balance in wars, to escape impossible situations, and to control the minds of their enemies. Lena's eyes widened. "Mind control? Seriously?" Alaric nodded gravely. "Yes, but there's a catch. The sauce's power is unpredictable. It can backfire. It's as dangerous to the user as to the target." Cade frowned. "So why sell it as a novelty? Why risk that?" Alaric's expression softened. "Because someone is hunting the recipe. Someone who wants to control or destroy it." He glanced around cautiously. "Selling it in small doses, disguised as a hot sauce, is the only way to keep it hidden." Lena shook her head, impressed despite herself. "That's insane," Alaric chuckled. "Insanity is part of the recipe." Suddenly, a faint humming filled the air, the sound of approaching footsteps. The assassins tensed. "Looks like our story's about to get a lot messier," Alaric said with a smirk. Tension thickened the air as Cade, Lena, and Alaric agreed on a way to settle their rivalry. A hot sauce cook-off. The stakes? Pride, secrets, and maybe survival. Each assassin returned to their stalls, whipping up their signature sauces, with the precision of a seasoned warrior preparing for battle. Cade's blend simmered with rare spices and silent potency. Lena crafted delicate dumplings drenched in fiery handcrafted sauce. Alaric's glowing concoction bubbled with unpredictable power. The crowd gathered, whispers turning to cheers. Even the skeptics leaned in, eager to witness the showdown of flavors. The three presented their dishes, each boasting unique heat and effects. Judges, an eclectic mix of locals and shadowy figures, took cautious bites. Cade's sauce hit first, intense and sharp, leaving a trail of numbness and heat. Lena's dumplings exploded with flavor, combining sweetness and spice in perfect harmony. Then came Alaric's sauce. One brave judge dared a taste. Suddenly, their eyes widened as waves of laughter, dizziness, and vivid hallucinations washed over them. Gasps and laughter erupted simultaneously. Alaric smirked. "Told you it's unpredictable." Cade narrowed his eyes but couldn't hide a grin. "You win the weird award." Lena laughed. "But can it win a fight?" Alaric shrugged. "That's a different kind of battle." The crowd buzzed with excitement, the assassins sharing a rare moment of camaraderie. The cook-off wasn't just a competition. It was the beginning of an alliance forged in spice, strategy, and stories yet to be told. Just as the hot sauce challenge reached its peak, a figure stumbled through the crowd, clumsy, wide-eyed, and utterly oblivious to the deadly tension. "Hey! What's cooking here?" the newcomer asked cheerfully, glancing between the three assassins. Cade, Lena, and Alaric froze, exchanging quick, wary looks. Lena raised an eyebrow. "You have no idea who we are, do you?" the newcomer grinned. "Not a clue, just love spicy food." Cade muttered under his breath, "This could get complicated." Undeterred, the customer ordered a sampler of all three sauces, eagerly preparing to taste. With the first bite, their face twisted, a mix of shock, delight, and mild regret. "Oh wow, that's got a kick," they exclaimed. The assassins watched cautiously as the customer proceeded to eat more, laughing at each new fiery surprise. Suddenly, the customer pulled out a phone, live-streaming the event. "Hey everyone, you've got to see this crazy hot sauce battle happening on Main Street." The crowd grew, attracted by the live feed, turning the secretive showdown into an unexpected viral sensation. The assassins groaned but couldn't help smiling. Lena whispered, "Maybe this is good. Maybe it's time the world knew there's more to us than just knives." Alaric nodded. "And that hot sauce isn't just for killing." Cade chuckled. "Yeah, it's for shaking things up." As the customer continued tasting, the trio realized that this unexpected visitor might just be the spice their lives and stories needed. With the crowd growing, the assassins decided to give a rare show, a demonstration of their unique combat skills using food. Cade stepped forward, pulling a chili pepper from his store. With a flick of his wrist, he launched it like a throwing star. It zipped through the air and landed perfectly into a small cup of water, releasing a sizzling cloud of spicy steam. "Precision," he said coolly. "One bite, and it disables your senses long enough to disappear." Lena followed, gracefully tossing a dumpling like a shuriken. It burst open mid-air, releasing a hidden numbing toxin designed to incapacitate foes quietly. The crowd gasped, impressed. Alaric grinned and cracked open his glowing sauce jar, flicking a drop onto the pavement. The spot immediately shimmered and distorted, an illusion field masking his escape routes. "Not just flavor," Alaric said. "This is warfare wrapped in deliciousness." The three moved with synchronized agility, showing combos of spicy smoke bombs, stealthy food traps, and dazzling footwork. Food fights turned tactical battles. Spectators watched, captivated by the deadly elegance masked by culinary art. One brave onlooker whispered, "Who knew hot sauce could be so lethal?" Cade smiled. "In this game, everything's a weapon, even dessert," Lena winked, "and every meal is a chance to survive." As the demonstration ended, the assassins stood together, their rivalry softened by respect and shared secrets, ready for whatever the next spicy challenge might bring. As the crowd dispersed, Cade, Lena, and Alaric gathered behind their stalls, faces illuminated by the glow of neon signs and flickering street lamps. "Look," Lena said, folding her arms, "we could keep fighting over spices and secrets, or we could try something else." Cade raised an eyebrow. "You mean, Team up? Alaric shrugged, smirking. I've been flying solo for too long. Maybe it's time for a new recipe. The tension between them softened into a reluctant camaraderie. Lena nodded. Think about it. Our skills combined, we'd be unstoppable, not just in combat but in business. Cade chuckled. Imagine a food empire built on deadly dishes and spicy secrets. Alaric grinned wider. Plus fewer surprises in the dark alleyways. They shared a laugh, the idea of alliance no longer foreign but oddly appealing. Yet, old habits died hard. We're still assassins, Cade reminded them. Trust is earned, not given. Lena tapped her fingers. True, but maybe trust begins with a shared meal. Alaric raised his glowing sauce jar. To new beginnings, and hotter endings. They clinked imaginary glasses, the glow reflecting in their eyes. A promise of spicy adventures ahead. Days later, the trio gathered in a hidden kitchen, a place where secrets simmered alongside spices. Alaric pulled out a small, ornate box from beneath his cart. Inside lay a single shimmering seed, black as night but glowing faintly. This, he said, is the mystery ingredient, the heart of my sauces. Cade leaned closer. Where did you find it? Alaric's eyes darkened. In the ruins of a forgotten world, a place where alchemy and nature intertwined. Lena traced the seed's outline with a finger. What makes it so special? Alaric smiled knowingly. It amplifies flavors and powers. It reacts to emotions, unlocking hidden potential. Cade frowned. Sounds dangerous. Alaric nodded. It is, but with control, it can transform ordinary food into something extraordinary. They began experimenting, grinding the seed into powder and mixing it with their sauces. The effects were immediate. Colors deepened, aromas intensified, and a subtle energy pulsed through the air. As they tasted the new blends, a shared understanding grew. This ingredient could change everything. But they also knew it attracted attention. Dangerous attention. The mystery ingredient was more than a spice. It was a key to power, legacy, and survival. With the mystery ingredient infused into their sauces, Cade, Lena, and Alaric felt an undeniable shift in their creations. Alaric's glowing concoction pulsed softly, as if alive. Word spread quickly through the underground networks about the new miracle sauces. Curious customers and rival assassins alike flocked to their stalls, eager to taste the legendary blends. At first, the effects were subtle, heightened senses, bursts of energy, and surprising clarity. But soon, strange phenomena began to occur. One customer reported vivid visions of past lives. Another claimed their emotions shifted wildly, from fierce joy to profound sorrow. A whispered rumor circulated that the sauces could unlock hidden memories or alter reality itself. Cade's precise control over his deadly blends became more difficult as the sauces seemed to take on a life of their own. Lena's elegant dumplings sparked unpredictable reactions. Some diners laughed uncontrollably, others found themselves temporarily invisible. Even Alaric's chaos pepper reached new heights of power, bending the perception of everyone nearby. The trio realized they held something far beyond food or weaponry. Their sauces had become a new form of power, one that could influence minds and alter destinies. But with great power came great risk. The secret guild that once guarded the mystery ingredient began sending agents to reclaim it. The assassins found themselves at the center of a brewing storm, where culinary artistry collided with ancient magic and deadly politics. And as the hot sauce changed everything, the question remained: could they control this power before it consumed them all? The night air was thick with tension as Cade, Lena, and Alaric prepared for the inevitable confrontation. The secret guild's agents were closing in, determined to seize the mystery ingredient and end their culinary rebellion. Under the flickering neon lights of their shared food stall, the trio readied their weapons, both traditional and spicy. Cade sharpened his knives, his eyes cold and focused. Lena arranged her dumplings like soldiers on a battlefield, each infused with deadly toxins. Alaric stirred a pot of his glowing sauce, the liquid swirling with unnatural energy. The first wave of guild agents stormed in, cloaked in shadows, their faces obscured but their intent clear. Without hesitation, the assassins sprang into action. Cade moved with lethal precision, throwing chili peppers like darts that exploded in bursts of blinding heat. Lena's dumplings flew through the air, releasing clouds of numbing gas that incapacitated attackers silently. Alaric unleashed waves of his reality-bending sauce, disorienting foes with vivid illusions. The battle was a chaotic dance of spice and steel. Customers ducked and scattered, some cheering the trio's fiery defense, others fleeing the madness. At the climax, Alaric combined the mystery ingredient with his chaos pepper, creating a massive explosion of flavor and power that sent the guild agents reeling. As the dust settled, the assassins stood victorious, breathless but unbroken. Us. Lena smiled, wiping sauce from her cheek. Guess food really is more than just flavor. Cade nodded. It's survival, it's power, it's who we are. Alaric grinned, and this is just the beginning. The night ended with a new understanding. Their weapons were not just knives or poisons, but the very essence of their lives. Together, they would redefine what it meant to be assassins, one deadly bite at a time. After their victorious battle, Cade, Lena, and Alaric gathered around a small table beneath the flickering lights of their shared food stall. We've proven something tonight, Cade said, folding his arms. Our skills and spices together are unstoppable. Lena nodded thoughtfully. But fighting guilds forever isn't sustainable. We need a new way. Alaric smiled, eyes gleaming. Why not merge our talents? Create a new kind of empire, one that sells food with a deadly edge. Cade raised an eyebrow. You mean assassin cuisine, a business and a weapon? Exactly, Lena replied. We offer more than meals. We offer power, influence and protection. Alaric added, imagine a world where our sources are legends, our food is feared, and our customers are loyal, for reasons they don't even understand. The trio leaned in, excitement building as ideas flowed. They'd expand beyond the street stalls, into hidden restaurants, secret societies, and underground markets. Their dishes would carry messages, warnings, and offers no one could refuse. It wasn't just survival anymore. It was domination through flavor and fear. Cade grinned. Let's cook up a revolution. Lena raised her sauce bottle in a toast. To hot sauce and high stakes. Alaric chuckled. And to the best damn assassins this galaxy has ever tasted. With their new plan set, the assassins prepared to change the game forever, blending culinary artistry with lethal precision. Months later, the three assassins stood behind a bustling food store that had become legendary in the city. Their sauces were no longer just weapons, they were a cultural phenomenon. Customers from all walks of life lined up, eager for a taste of the infamous assassin cuisine. Cade handed a spicy taco to a laughing child. Lena served delicate dumplings to an elderly couple, while Alaric perfected the final drizzle of his glowing sauce on a plate. The trio exchanged knowing smiles. Their journey had transformed them, from lone killers to creators of something bigger. Their food brought people together, weaving stories and connections as powerful as any blade. In the chaos of flavors, they'd found a new purpose. Hot sauce wasn't just heat or poison. Pligi, it was passion, legacy, survival, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit of soul. As the sun set over the city, the neon lights flickered on, casting colorful glows over the lively crowd. Somewhere, in the midst of laughter and shared meals, the assassins knew their story was far from over. But for now, the spice was right, and the world tasted just a little better.